storm moves into your area. Back to our tools we go. I'm just going to show the velocity on both of those storms to show you the strongest winds coming in. And I'll just point out, just not far from the Raywick area. Going to be very heavy hit with some very strong wind. I've got family and friends there. Make sure you seek shelter in the lowest level. That's a basement if you have it. Mobile homes aren't good places to be in storms like this. This report just coming into us, and we're trying to clear up what's happened down in Hart County earlier. It looks like there was a report of a funnel cloud with debris in the air down there. So these are the reports we have at this time. We have no actual confirmings. Definitely are something to pay attention to and be aware of here over the next several minutes as they continue. You see the storm tracker on the left there, on the left-hand side of your screen, the lightning very intense in that storm as they move down I-65, trying their best to get down to the Sonora-Upton area at this time, and I can imagine that folks on I-65 down there are going to be traveling a little bit slower as they approach some of that heavier rain down there, Kevin. Definitely a situation that is not good down in southern Kentucky. No, while
down into Port of Warren County, and then you also see back toward the Greencastle area in Warren County, just a little bit north of Bowling Green. Lots of lightning strikes there.
Just turn that off. Put it on regular TV.
Wind and the fact that the storms are rotating. We mentioned days ago that the wind field would set up today where we would be in a favorable situation for rotating thunderstorms, and that's exactly what's happened.
One weakness, right? Things.
The doctors
will weaken those storms as they try to roll in here.
Absolutely. As of now, there are no severe storm warnings on those storms back to us. So that is the good news.
Yeah.
The severe storm warnings that we have right now include portions of Smithson County, Hart County, and the County in our viewing area. So it could be that once we get those immediate storms out here, we'll actually begin to weaken the severe threat just a little bit. And from that point, allow Chris Allen to get some rest because he'll be here in the morning for you guys as well. Dedicated to this team. But nonetheless, we're going to continue to watch everything that we do have going on right now, especially in Hart County. That is by far where the most dangerous weather is occurring in our viewing at this moment.
Yes. So what we'll do is because we're still monitoring the reports coming in from the National Weather Service so far, we've heard of maybe some minor structural damage. There's a report coming out of the Eastview community in Hardin County of some damage reported along Highway 62. We've not heard of any other damage here except for that that one report of the large hail that we have seen golf balls.
Different angle there. So yeah, getting some damage reports now from the earlier storm cluster that moved through, and I'm sure we'll be getting more damage reports, especially east of Louisville.
Same thing.
I don't think it's fair to say show over at this point.
I think you're absolutely right. You still see a good amount of it. There's not. Definitely has a greater potential at producing severe weather, which is why we have 2 tornado warnings, several severe thunderstorm warnings. I mean, look at the lightning on there. These storms are.
Well, this is where we're getting more of a gust front situation, less of a tornado rotation type situation. This is what we're hoping that we go to more of a linear situation instead of a closed area rotating like we're still seeing there just east of the area. And now you can see that little section where we're getting some rotation moving up eastern Hart County into western Greene County, and it would be up there around the Summersville area. You go north of Greensburg, it's Kentucky 61, and into the little community of Summersville. That's where we're getting some reported power outages and some issues there where maybe they had something happen there just minutes ago.
That's right. I'm still watching the latest for summer. We do have some wind gust reports coming out of LaRue County right now. In fact, we've got a 66-mile-per-hour wind gust. That is definitely tropical storm reports coming out of LaRue County with these storms that we have going on.
Yeah, and in fact, I can show you I was just trying to get the radar situated here, but I want to, before we send it back, let's look at some of the Mesonet sites.
If WBKO sends it back, then we're going to switch it back over to Wave 3.
Every 5 minutes or so. Nothing all that way off the mark here until you go to Madisonville. They just had a...
Just check Wave 3 really quick.
That will be moving near the Summersville and just north of Summersville. That's one area. Now the tornado warning's trimmed only because it's passed through the area that it was. So still, under the gun, Marion County, that would include the Lebanon area, areas just south of Loretto, as we take a closer look. I'm going to zoom back in. I'll ask you to go radar full screen so I can see it a little bit better here beside me, and then as we zoom in, I'll be able to go back to it. So we'll go in with the velocity scope. Let's zoom back into the Marion County storm, and we'll name off a few communities that are really in the path of this very strong wind that's moving in. You can see that Boeing segment there. This is going to be right along, not far from 84. 84 goes from St. Mary right into Lebanon. Raywick, we pointed out, was right in the heart of that strong wind pushing through right along 527 that comes down from north to south. And then this is going to push right towards St. Mary's. This will be moving over toward the Lebanon area. Holy Cross and Loretto are just off to the north. So
we're seeing those severe thunderstorm warnings. We've got the warnings here until 8 o'clock Central Time for the Mammoth Cave area, Edmonson County, and parts of western Hart County. And then around that, we also have a thunderstorm warning out for much of Hart County, at least the central northern parts of Hart County. And that is going to continue for a while longer. But inside that now, from about Munfordville over to just about County, that is a tornado warning until 8 p.m. Central Time. And then the next tornado warning is a little bit further off the map here, or out of our viewing area, once you head up into Marion County around the St. Mary's and a little bit northeast out of the WBKO viewing area. A tornado warning continues there. We're going to send you back to regular programming. Something else new. In the meantime, as you're watching your shows on ABC, know that we are going to continue to give you full coverage on Facebook, on WBKO Facebook. That's where we're broadcasting continuously, and so you can go there and watch us online on any device. And also, don't forget to make sure you have your WBKO app with you. You've signed up for push notifications. You'll get those notifications as soon as a warning comes out. Right now, though, we'll send you back to regular programming.
They're in Nelson County. So as these storms move through, they've got the very strong winds. They're going to knock out the power there, and any sort of tornado activity would also contribute to that. So, Kevin, we're going to watch these power outage numbers and keep monitoring for more damage. Okay, sounds good. We will keep an eye on that. We're also reaching out through our news department to all the sheriff's departments and emergency personnel who are feverishly working to make sure people are safe, because we do have damage. We do have homes with windows blown out. We do have barns that are down. So this is an emergency situation. It's something to take serious. I know oftentimes people say, oh, it's not affecting me, or that's not going to be as bad as they say it's going to be. Trust me, this time, if you're in the zone of this storm, it's bad. In fact, we have barns down, people that have hit the storm. Thousands of people without power at this point. Let me go back to our home view, and I'll point out that here in Louisville, all is fine. We've got a little bit of rain, more rain to come. The rain is fine. That's not going to be too big of a problem. We do see some severe weather back across southern Illinois. We'll keep an eye on that. I don't want to jump the gun and say we're completely out of the woods, but for the most part, most of the energy is now transferred out to this forward line, and that's where we have the tornado warnings that we've been watching. The one moving through Hart County, northern Greene County, that one is just about out of the tornado box itself. The one moving across parts of Marion County, you can see the severe thunderstorm warning being expanded farther to the east, now including southern Washington County, and then we continue to see the tornado warning down that way. Ryan has something new. Ryan?
National Weather Service has just expired that tornado warning for Greene and Hart counties in Kentucky, so that leaves us with one tornado warning at this point, Kev.
Okay, as we expected, since it was moving out of that box, that one's expired. This one's still holding tough. We'll just just point out a few things as we've been watching through the evening hours, and that's been the damage that's been coming in. We continue to see the fact that it could still produce that wind damage. Regardless if it's a tornado or not, the straight line wind force with the winds that we're tapping into just a few thousand feet above the surface are just outrageous tonight, and only strengthening, by the way, so even a heavy rain shower can pull some of those down. We also have the rotation factor that we've noted throughout the last several days, and that's why we said today was going to be a prime day to see some of these severe thunderstorms and the possibility of tornadoes. Here we are with the tornado warning down into Marion County. This is St. Mary. Here's Lebanon. The warning stops pretty much near the Lebanon area, right along 68. That takes a sharp turn to the south, just past the Lebanon area. We go back to the tools and just point in the velocity. This gives us a really good idea of where the strongest winds are. Kind of two areas, one near New Market, where we see that storm approaching 68, another one up towards St. Mary's. That's the core of the strongest. So just south of the Loretta area is where we have the strongest winds at this point. It's that Boeing segment that may become more of a straight line wind factor, and likely because of that, you see the new warning being issued off to the south. So I suspect that this is the zone. You see that bow? I mean, it takes a lot to bow that out. It takes a forward motion of winds of 70 miles per hour to cause that to even happen on the radar. You can see some of those Boeing segments. The velocity, however, showing some strong wind pockets there. Let's get this set up there. So we'll be getting some information. Sarah will join us here in just a few. She's working hard to make sure they do have power. And we do have power lines. So I'm getting this information right now. Power lines are down across parts of LaRue County, southern Hardin County. They're asking people to stay off the roads. Don't go out and start storm seeking to see what damage you can find. It doesn't do you any good, and it certainly doesn't do emergency personnel any good. We know we have power lines down, and the police have just relayed word to us saying, hey, if you can do us a favor, let people know not to get out and start snooping around. This is not the time to do that. It'll be time to see that later. So we're set up.
Fine then. Okay, I'll go out and
Sarah
snoop around.
Will join us in just a bit. Let's go back to the radar. It looks like the tornado warning has expired for Marion County. I'm going to zoom back out. Full screen to the radar we go. We'll take off all the back to our home view. Let's make sure we're out of harm's way here with the home view we go. If we can get the home view. Well, maybe not. Anyway, let me just zoom out on that, and there's the home view. You can see severe thunderstorm warnings continue for several counties to our south, southern Washington, Marion, parts of Hart, Greene, Taylor, and Adair counties. At this point, all tornado warnings have expired. We're going to get you back to programming. We will come back if any additional tornado warnings should be issued. In the meantime, let's do one quick round of all the folks that have been bringing us storm coverage. Let's go to Ryan Hoke first to see if there's any additional information, and then we'll check in with Sarah Rivest.
Yeah, Kevin, at this time, we've not received any more damage reports from these storms. The tornado warnings expired, but two very large severe thunderstorm warnings still ongoing down there. This has evolved from more of a tornado scenario to more of a damaging wind threat across southern Kentucky. Again, here in Louisville or southern Indiana, the threat is away. And some thunder here. We've been in communication this evening, not only with the emergency management, with all the counties that we serve, but also with the National Weather Service, and they'll continue to bring us the latest information, and we'll bring that to you as necessary. So make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and of course have that Wave 3 News Weather app, Kevin.
All right, Ryan, we're back to the radar, and again, the showers and thunder showers pushing across southern Indiana down into western Kentucky, non-severe at this point. We look back out into Illinois. There is a renegade severe storm there. We'll watch that closely, but the atmosphere is very worked over from that point forward, so the threat of severe weather is diminishing for much of our viewing area at this point. However, it's ongoing for some. Those areas to our south that we pointed out across parts of southern Washington, down into Marion County, Greene, Taylor, Hart, Adair. Just going to zoom into the box that's under severe thunderstorm warnings, and within that we have several pockets of high wind moving through and out of Hart County, northern half of Greene County, generally north of Greensburg, northern half of Taylor County, generally north of Campbellsville. Campbellsville's still in the line because what's moving out of Greene County will soon move toward you. The biggest threat we've seen has been across We had the tornado warning, which had been precipitated because of damage that extended way back out into Grayson County. That continued across Hardin County, LaRue County, now into Marion County, and that pushes over toward the Gravel Switch area. Southern parts of Washington County seeing some heavy rain, wind, the potential for some small hail within that zone as well. Let's go back to Sonora. Want to point out from the command post there, set up at the fire station.
Yeah, that damage in Grayson County was near me.
All of this happening within the last
that barn that got destroyed in Grayson County was in Shrewsbury, just down the road from me.
We have barns, structures, homes with windows blown out. All of that has happened down across parts of LaRue, Hardin, Grayson counties tonight, perhaps even into parts of Marion County. This is Hardin County EMS, who is
that barn was on 187 just down the road from me.
We will continue to watch this, and we're going to check in with Sarah Rivest coming up in just a bit. We're going to get you back to programming on Wave 3, so if you're watching shows tonight, we will try not to interrupt unless another tornado warning comes out. However, our apps. If you have the Wave 3 News app, the Wave 3 Weather app, we're going to continue our coverage here. And if you're looking for that report from Sarah Rivest down to the south, stay with us on one of those platforms. For now, we're going to... They're going to try to get Sarah. That conference that they're having down in Sonora is winding up, so they're going to grab Sarah Rivest to give us just an update before we go back. You can see some of the emergency personnel still gathered. I'll point out that power is out to so many people down south. I've heard from family and friends down in LaRue and Marion counties, southern Hardin County, power out there. In fact, probably well over 10,000 folks without power at this point. Power lines are down, and police have asked us to ask you to stay away from any of the storm damage. It's just becoming a problem for so many folks that they get out and they try to seek out some of the damage that's taken place across the area, and it really becomes that those folks are in the way of... We're still trying to...
Severe thunderstorm warning there in southeastern Illinois.
Black Americans went to HBCUs. MLK, Spike Lee, Diddy, Ta-Nehisi Coates, Kamala Harris, Oprah. My God.
We have these supercell storms that are trying to line up from Springfield to Lebanon. Across the southern part of Hardin County, had some damage there too. And that's why we have 8,000 people without power. Golf ball size hail, in fact, in Hardin County. That moved into LaRue County. That's where we found the Sonora, Upton, Magnolia area that was hit hard. That's been the hardest hit area that we can find, and that's just because it's been such short term. It's right along an interstate, so some people can easily see the damage. So that could be one reason. That's not to say there's not more damage across Hardin County, or even off to the east across parts of LaRue or northern Greene County. This storm system then moved to Marion. And likewise, I would find it hard to believe that we don't have some problems in the Raywick area with as strong as those winds appeared on radar. Ryan Hope standing by with more, and in fact, a new tornado warning that's coming for Marion County. That includes the Marion County area over toward Boyle County, which would include Danville. Ryan?
Yeah, that's right. That's until 9:30 p.m. this evening. This does include Gravel Switch. So Gravel Switch in Marion County, get to your tornado safe place immediately. That's going to be the lowest level of your home. A basement or storm shelter is the best. And into the center first level room, like a closet or a bathroom, that's going to be also the best place. Make sure that you're covering your head down there. They've got a circulation that's been persistent. It's now starting to wind back up just southeast of Lebanon, Kentucky. You can see it there on the radar. That little notch that moves to the north and east, and that is what's triggering that tornado warning.
Yeah, very clearly shown on the reflectivity that we have there. You can see just south of 69. That's moving over toward the Pinnock area. That's in Marion County, just south of the Gravel Switch, Lebanon area, right in between there. Notice that little hook showing up. We're going to zoom into that, and then we'll go down to some more. But I'm going to zoom into this just to point out that is a very ominous signature on the radar at this point. And go back into the radar and just zoom. It's that notch right there that is so concerning. Back to our tools, we go to the velocity, which shows us that rotation so clearly, and you'll note that it's just right in that area, right there. Wow. I mean, that is clearly rotation showing up. Now forward motion takes it right in that area. Greens toward the radar, reds away. That is the rotation in that storm right there. South of 68, north of 49 in that warning area, moving forward. Gravel switch should stay just south of that area. But if you're in that zone of Marion County, mainly the big storms passed by the Sonora area, and there are passed at this point. Sonora, located right down I-65, take it through Hardin County, down into the far part. Sarah Vest is standing by. Sarah, I know you're just from emergency officials there. Power is out. Homes, barns damaged. What can you tell us?
Well, we're still waiting to hear from the fire chief here, but you can see they've actually set up